It was a special day at Old Trafford. Not just that we defeated Nottingham Forest, but the fact of what happened today, what did. It was a beautiful day. Bruno Fernandes got his 20th assist. We got all 3 points. Michael Carrick is closer to getting the role as the manager. Casemiro says goodbye to Old Trafford. Tyrell Malacia says goodbye to Old Trafford. There's so many things that happened today that just means much. And today, it could be the first day of the future. The feeling of something special is absolutely there. And nobody can absolutely say that it's not true. You get? There are football matches and there are moments in football games. There are moments in football that we would remember for a long time. Moments that feel bigger than the 90 minutes itself. Moments where the score line almost becomes secondary because of what you are really watching is history unfolding right in front of your very eyes. And today, Old Trafford was that. Manchester United gave us one of those days today. A day where emotion, legacy, redemption, heartbreak, and hope all collided together in one game. Because it wasn't just Manchester United beating Nottingham Forest 3-2. No. This was Michael Carrick completing one of the most unbelievable managerial turnarounds in Premier League has seen in recent years. From 15th all the way to 3rd. We cannot be caught anymore. We needed 1 point today to get to 3rd place or to secure 3rd place, and we got all 3. We cannot catch 2nd, but we have secured 3rd place. This was Casemiro walking out of Old Trafford one final time as a Manchester United player. One final standing ovation, one final Warriors farewell. And this also was Bruno Fernandes officially entering the pantheon of the Premier League history. 20 assists. 20. The first Manchester United player to ever hit that number in a Premier League season. And somehow, all those things, all those storylines collided into one emotional, chaotic, dramatic afternoon. This felt like the end of one chapter and maybe the beginning of another. Because for the first time in a very long time, Old Trafford did not feel broken. It felt alive again. We need to talk about everything. And that's what we are going to do. So strap up, hit that button, hit that subscribe button, and let's begin. First things first, Michael Carrick changed everything. We will start with the man that deserves the biggest credit today, Michael flipping Carrick. Because what he has done this season should genuinely be studied. I don't think people fully understand how impossible this looked when he took over in January. Yes, we were sitting 7th, but we were looking closer to the relegation battle than closer to the 1st place. Manchester United in that position were absolutely ridiculous. Football felt lifeless. The dressing room looked fractured. They looked frustrated. They looked like they did not understand what was required by Ruben Amorim. The confidence was gone. Old Trafford, of course, became toxic. Fans stopped believing. And honestly, most people were already writing off the season. People said United need another rebuild. People said the squad wasn't good enough. People said the club has no identity. Then Michael Carrick walked in. And instead of giving speeches, he gave a team structure. Instead of panic, he brought calm. Instead of overcomplicating football, he simplified. He broke it down. He took it back to the bare bones. And my goodness, was that successful. Biggest thing about this situation, Carrick understood something a lot of modern managers tend to forget. Football players are human beings. They are human beings. Confidence matters, belief matters, rhythm, flipping matters. Michael Carrick came in and we had a starting 3 in the midfield the entire time. Apart from times where Kobe Manu was injured, Casemiro got a red card or something like that. You had consistency in every position in the dressing room. That created rhythm. That created synergy. That created confidence between the players. Cunha, Bruno, Meno, those things do not happen if these players did not play with themselves. That is what I'm trying to say. It does not happen if they don't play with themselves. And slowly, week by week, Manchester United started looking like Manchester United again. It's not perfect. It's not finished, but it's recognizable. One thing is for sure is that we do not even think that Michael Carrick has gotten to a point where he's playing his football. But what he has showed us is that he can get the best out of these players. The midfield became balanced. The transition became quicker. The pressing became smarter. The players suddenly looked comfortable again. The biggest achievement though, he restored the belief inside Old Trafford. And you could feel it today. The crowd was singing. The Stretford end was absolutely on their feet. The players started fighting again. The badge started meaning something again. You see the likes of Casemiro hitting the badge. Bruno Fernandes so excited. Cunha kissing the badge. That is what we want. That is what we are getting. And that's what we got from Michael Carrick. And now look at the table. We are third from 15th last season. This is not normal. This is close to the... If he does this next year, we can arguably say Michael Carrick is knocking on the elite door managerial situation. Just like Vincent Kompany is doing right now with Bayern Munich. And what makes this even crazier is the pressure surrounding the club the entire time. Don't get me wrong, Michael Carrick was perceived to have a free hit this season. But with Manchester United, there's nothing like a free hit. There's absolutely nothing like that. You make it, or you swim, or you drown. It's not a quiet football. It's not a quiet football club at all. Every bad performance is global. Every dropped point is going to be a crisis. Every rumor becomes chaos. But Carrick handled it with the same composure he played with as a midfielder. He actually see the personality now transfer from the coach into the player. Calm under pressure, patient with possession, controlled emotionally. And today was the perfect summary of his work. When Nottingham Forest pushed, even when they pushed, even when the game became emotional, even when Old Trafford was nervous, we were sitting on the edge of our seat in the last 10 minutes. United never completely lost control. That is right there what coaching is. That's real coaching. And that right there is Michael Carrick in every facet of the game. And now the biggest question is, no longer can Carrick Manchester United. The question is, how far can he take them? Because this season may have changed everything. And then we go to Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes makes history today. The captain, El Capitano, Bruno Fernandes. Because today wasn't just about another good performance from Bruno. Today was history in the making. And guess what? He has one more game to break the current holders of the title. 20 assists in the Premier League in one season. Do you understand how ridiculous that is? Especially in this Manchester United side. Because assists are not just about creativity. It's about consistency. It's about timing. It's about availability. It's about vision. It's about trust. And most importantly, it's about execution. Bruno Fernandes has spent this entire season creating after chant. And today, he officially broke through that historical barrier. 20 flipping assists. That puts him in a legendary company. And honestly, it says everything about his mentality, because Bruno Fernandes is one of the most misunderstood footballers in world football. People criticize him for his emotions. People criticize him for how he reacts. People complain. We say he complains way too much. But one thing nobody ever questions is his output. Nobody ever questions his output. The man carries responsibilities every single week. Creativity, emotionally, leadership-wise. And under Michael Carrick, something changed yet again. Bruno stopped looking like a player trying to save Manchester United by himself. And now he looks like a coordinator in an actual functioning team. And that matters. Because when the structure around Bruno works, you get the best version of him. And the best version of Bruno Fernandes is one of the most dangerous creators in Europe. Think back to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer days, the days where he had the likes of Pogba next to him. Think back to those days and how devastating he was in front of goal, how devastating he was in the entirety of his game. Now imagine Bruno Fernandes next season with a competent, physical, a ball running, a physical kind of football players that he's playing with, including with Kobe Mainoo. And you see the brilliance of Bruno Fernandes will be there. He might go back-to-back seasons with 20 assists if everything goes well with the transfer window this summer. Today, Aziz wasn't just a sitter. It wasn't just a 5-yard pass. It was a cross, a check back from the side, a blistering check back that goes into Mbeumo, and Mbeumo puts it in the back of the net. Very good that he put it in the back of the net because Brian could not catch a break today. Nothing was going well for him, but he has finally gotten that monkey off his back. And I'm so grateful and I'm so happy that he did that. This entire season has symbolized the awareness for Bruno. The weight of pass that he has, the confidence, the ambition, and maybe the most important thing of all, the chemistry that he's building with these players. You can tell that the players trust each other now because the moment the ball gets to Bruno Fernandes, every single person is thinking, go. Because he can get us the ball. Go. He can. Bruno has become the heartbeat of all of it. There's a reason why Carrick trusted him so heavily. Because great managers always trust intelligent footballers. Bruno Fernandes sees football differently from a lot of people. The final whistle today wasn't just him celebrating 3 points. It was celebrating one of the greatest creative seasons a Manchester United midfielder has ever produced. And Old Trafford knew it, and the applause sounded louder, different, and for a purpose. Because fans understand that they are witnessing history today. And that was brilliant. And that also takes me from this particular point to another historical point. A player that has done it all in his situation. A player that is literally never going to play for Manchester United at Old Trafford again. Casemiro. His final Old Trafford goodbye. This is the emotional part of it. The part that honestly hit harder than the result itself. Casemiro possibly for the final time at Old Trafford. What a strange Manchester United career he has. Because when Casemiro arrived from Real Madrid, many people thought that Man United had signed a player past his best. And then within months, he completely transformed the midfield. The aggression, the leadership, winning mentality, the big game experience. For a while, he looked like the missing piece. A serial winner that dragged the standards upward. And you could see it immediately when Real Madrid trusted him for years. So many years. This player that understands the sacrifice, the dirty work, the tactical discipline, the mentality required to survive at elite clubs. And though there were difficult periods, those first 2 years were a little shaky. It was a bit shaky. But that was because of the managers that used him in different ways, did not use him in the right way. However, you never questioned his commitment. Never. Today, Old Trafford gave him the flowers that he deserves. Every tackle was louder. Every interception was responded by the fans emotionally. Every touch felt significant because fans knew what this moment meant. Football moves fast. One day you are arriving as a superstar signing, the next day you're saying goodbye. And honestly, Casemiro leaving represents something bigger about Manchester United's project. It represents a transition. It represents an end of an era. It represents a beginning of another. Carrick is building a younger and more energetic side. But players like Casemiro leave behind something priceless. They leave behind the standards, the experience, the mentality, and you can actually see the respect that this man got from his squad. Bruno, the coaching staff, the supporters, every single person understood the significance of this moment. Because whatever happens next, Casemiro helped stabilize Manchester United during one of the club's most modern periods. And that should never be forgotten. The walk around Old Trafford after the final whistle, the applause, the emotion That wasn't fake. That right there was appreciations for the trophies, for the battles, for the leadership, for the professionalism, for the honesty. You could see on his face, he knew this club mattered to him. Even if the journey wasn't always perfect. That's football. Sometimes most emotional goodbyes belong to players who arrived during the hardest times. And today felt like one of those days. Casemiro, obrigado. Thank you very much for everything that you have done for Manchester United over the past 4 years. It's going to be remembered fondly by those who watched it, by those who we are going to tell the stories about, by those who understand the greatness of Carlos, Casemiro, and Enrique. Because one thing is for sure, you have made Kobe Mainoo better. You have made Bruno Fernandes better. You have made every single person in that dressing room better, whether you know it or not. And then we get back to the match itself. Of course, it's chaos, it's drama, it's Old Trafford energy. But we are actually going to focus on the game today, right now. Because somehow in the middle of all those emotional storylines, Manchester United still had to win a football match. And Nottingham Forest did not make it easy. The game had everything: momentum swings, defensive mistakes, quality, attacking football, pressure, nerves, and a classic end of the season: chaos. But what impressed me the most is United today was the mentality. Earlier in the season, this game probably we don't win it. Earlier in the season, heads will drop. The crowd becomes anxious. The structure disappears. But today, they responded again and again. That's growth. And you can see that Michael Carrick's fingerprint is all over that performance right there. The spacing between the midfield and the attack looked better. The movement in transition looked more coordinated. And most importantly, United looked like a team on the pitch today that expected to win. The confidence is oozing and everybody can feel it. Even when Forest scored, Old Trafford did not collapse into frustration. There was belief. The football stadiums can feel that. The connection between the crowd and the players is absolutely massive. By the final minutes, the atmosphere felt electric. Not because the football was perfect, but because the fans finally felt emotionally connected to the team again. And after everything this club has gone through in recent years, that right there matters a lot. The reason I say this could change a lot of things for Manchester United is the scary thing for the rest of the Premier League is that Manchester United still feel unfinished. That's the scary part. Because this doesn't feel like a finished product. It feels like a foundation that is being built. Michael Carrick has restored an identity to Manchester United. Bruno Fernandes is playing the best football of his career. Young players are developing and the atmosphere is returning. And the club feels emotionally aligned again. That doesn't guarantee trophies, for sure. However, what it guarantees is that Old Trafford, Manchester United, is going to be reckoned with very soon. I'll see you guys in the next one. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit the follow button, hit the subscribe button so you can tell YouTube that you love watching Pillar Sports. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.